Dalavina guia dolosana angito talita kini ana barong ng Bula FM at Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang ko tevita utu ngoi 90 ando talita ka wale barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Na adang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Gatabo ando talita na barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 ana sir.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, Fiji Roads Authority exhausts budget post-Cyclone Winston. Australia to continue helping Fiji in rehabilitation works. And Fbctv secures exclusive free-to-air deal for Super Rugby. The National Disaster Management Office has assessed the cost of damage caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston in some sectors. Akusita Tale reports the figures coming out shows the vast damage caused by the storm.
NDMO Director Akapusi Tuifangalele says an assessment of dwellings around the country has confirmed 9,173 houses were completely destroyed. 16,757 were damaged, while about 29,000 more were partially damaged. So far, about $9.7 million has been spent on rations for storm refugees.
Ministry of Fisheries and Forests, the damage to their sector is about $3,547,000. This is for their fisheries and forest buildings and also their projects. In terms of the damage to the fisheries and forest private sector, it's about $14,552,000.
62 schools were destroyed and 288 damaged. Meanwhile, 11 schools are still being used as evacuation centers, while 14 others remain closed. Tuifangalele has also confirmed assessments for loss of crops and livestock stand around $208.3 million.
When looking at the various damages into the sector, into the agriculture sector, the highest is actually on Yangona or Kava, which is about 58% of the total damage caused for agriculture.
Tropical Cyclone Winston has cost us millions in homes, industry, crops and livestock. But the nation has shown it can handle a devastating disaster, assess the damage and has the spirit to rebuild. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
We now cross live to Akusita Tale, who joins us for more details on the assessment that the Disaster Management Office has compiled this evening. Akusita, we also understand the number of evacuation centres have decreased since yesterday. Can you tell us more?
Yes, Jackie, the numbers have decreased to 291, and of these, 11 are schools. The number of evacuees have also dropped to 8,098. Confirmations have also come in that all evacuation centers in the north have closed, including the 5 evacuation centers in the Asawaz. Jackie, only 7 days remain before the state of natural disaster comes to an end for the country, and Tuifangalele has confirmed that a National Rehabilitation Reconstruction Committee has been set up this afternoon that will take over when the declaration comes to an end next week. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Akusita. The Fiji Roads Authority has exceeded its emergency budget allocation for repair of roads and bridges. Their priority since Tropical Cyclone Winston has been to open access to villages which were cut off and isolated by the record-breaking storm. Ritika Pratap reports.
The transport infrastructure is severely damaged and estimated repairs are expected to cost around $135 million.
The bulk of the damages relate to bridges, crossings and jetties of around an estimate of $80 million. The work to restore access, temporary in its nature and in some cases still four-wheel drive, but that work is estimated to be $10 to $15 million.
Aram Goes says the cost of clearing landslides and repairing coastal erosion, particularly on the islands of Ovalau, Coro, Vanambalavu and Tavyuni, is estimated at around $40 million.
We are dealing with what we have to within our available funds. We currently have exceeded our emergency allocation, so there will have to be some type of propping up from that, from other funds, if that can be done from aid or other funding arrangements through the government, or whether we need to reassess our own annual budget expenditure and reallocate as we have to. We will have to just go through those processes as the details come to light.
The FRA, like all other government agencies, has to submit their damage assessment report to the National Disaster Management Office by Sunday.
That's where we believe we're at 60% through that full report, so we will be looking to table a final total of all of our site-specific damages and estimated costs by the end of this week.
The FRA's priority was to create access to disaster-stricken areas to allow relief to reach them. Now, as part of their second phase, the contractors are re-gravelling some of the roads to strengthen weakened areas, while others still need long detours. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Australia will continue assisting Fiji in its rehabilitation efforts post-Cyclone Winston. Australia's Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop says while the two nations are close allies, Fiji needs all the support to again stand on her feet. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Including her two-day tour to assess the recovery efforts on the ground, Australia's Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop made time to appreciate some of Fiji's best exports. On to business. Bishop says her government is here to support Fiji for the long run.
I have met with Prime Minister Bainimarama and also with Foreign Minister Kumbumbola. The main topics that we discussed was not only the recovery effort and Australia's role in working with the Fiji authorities to provide basic food, shelter and sanitation and hygiene equipment, but also the longer-term recovery effort that will be required.
While there are no firm figures on Australia's aid package, Bishop says the decision will be based on Fiji's needs.
We are working with the Fiji government and will respond to the requests from the government for further help. We understand that there will be an overall needs assessment undertaken in the next few days, and Australia stands ready to continue to support Fiji at this time. I am meeting with other ministers this afternoon, including the Education Minister, to determine what are the priorities in terms of healthcare, education and economic support.
Specific sector support, she adds, will also be a priority.
Crops have been devastated, and so this season there will be a loss of income and impact on the economy. So Australia stands ready to support Fiji in helping with the economy and getting crops back in for planting.
Australia has so far provided more than $24 million in humanitarian aid, including 1,000 army personnel as well as medical teams on the ground. We're a friend, a partner, a neighbour, and this is our part of the world. These were the words of Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop as she concluded a two-day visit to the country, reiterating her government's support for Fiji's rebuild in the wake of Cyclone Winston. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Bishop was in Rakiraki this afternoon to hand over education and health resource material to help those lives that have been affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston. The minister met students of Penang Sangam School and toured the school that was ravaged by the cyclone. Minister for Education Dr. Mahendra Reddy was also on hand to receive the educational resource material donated by the Australian government. Bishop then also took to the Rakiraki Hospital to witness the devastation of Tropical Cyclone Winston and to also hand over medical resource material donated by the UNFPA and the Australian government. The minister also stopped over at Rakiraki village to chat with villagers and vendors at the Rakiraki market. Still to come on FBC News, Coro Islanders seek shelter in Suva.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rugby TV. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits. My name is Silipa from Tabor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. It's estimated about 500 Coro Islanders left their homes after the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston. Many are now residing in Suva, according to Lomaiviti Provincial Council Urban Representative Chochi Ngarnivalu. Sainiani Boila has more.
The loss of schools and classrooms is one of the major reasons Coro Islanders left for Vitilevu, where their island families and friends welcomed them. They are also supporting the Coro students in any way they can.
The support has been overwhelming, looking after, visiting those in hospital, and looking after them, those who are recuperating in their various homes in Suva, giving them financial aid.
Chachi says some have also arranged job opportunities for Coro Islanders who may be forced to stay in Suva for the next few months. Meanwhile, Lomaiviti Provincial Council West Representative Isimeli Ngarnivalu says Coro Islanders who wish to move to the West should think again.
Honestly, don't think. And I request the people from Coro and Lomaiviti not to do that just yet and send children to the Western Division right now until we're in a position to be able to accept them. Right now, the devastation is too much. I've been around, as I said before, and there's been a lot of damage. People need to rehabilitate themselves first before they're in a position to receive students from Coro Island.
Chachi says the Coro Village Community Council in Suva is responsible for finding schools that can accommodate Coro students. He adds Coro Islanders temporarily staying in Suva include the elderly, the sickly, small children and pregnant women. Sainia Nimbuela, FBC News.
A break-in at the Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha headquarters in Suva last night has seen $300 stolen from the religious organization. National President Sarju Prasad says they found that louvers from the window of the building had been removed, and that is when they discovered that they had been robbed. Prasad says his organization was very disappointed to note that people would steal from a religious organization. While there was no sacrilege, the thieves did make a mess of their office and premises.
It's a shameful act of people, and I'm asking these kind of people, please to refrain from doing this. We are trying to promote our religion to the best of our ability, and all religions are the same, and I think we should respect each another's religion.
A police report has been filed and investigations have begun. On Saturday night in Sydney, violence broke out outside a theatre where a fundraising concert for the Cyclone Winston Fiji relief effort was being held. The brawl, involving a number of people, some apparently quite drunk, started as unruly scuffles which spread across Sydney's central business district. This video taken by 9 News Australia shows police springing into action, trying to control the situation. It is understood the fight started at about 3 a.m. after 2 men ran from the theatre and police were called to the venue. The Fiji fundraiser was organised by White House Sydney, who were quick to set the record straight via their Facebook and Twitter account. A number of additional officers were called out to help, but it took about 40 minutes to defuse the brawl. Several people were treated at the scene by paramedics. 2 men are under arrest and are expected to be charged. An investigation is ongoing. The Ministry of Health is working with other stakeholders in eliminating mosquito breeding areas. Health Minister Chone Usumate says while there have been no new cases of dengue fever, leptospirosis and typhoid recorded, they still need to play an active role. Kelly Vathala has the details.
3 weeks after Cyclone Winston struck, the Health Ministry is keeping up its fight to ensure diseases that can develop from mosquitoes are avoided.
And now in the phase where it becomes critical. This week we'll be working very closely with the Fiji military forces to make sure that the spraying for vectors for mosquitoes takes place. That is something that we hope to see right across the country.
Usamate is urging the public not to wait on the ministry's assistance in spraying or cleaning up mosquito breeding places. but to use their own initiative in cleaning up their surroundings.
We hope to bring in the community also to help us do that. We need to control mosquitoes, and I think the message that needs to go to the public, rather than wait for the ministry to do it, people need to do that on their own, in their own communities. If we can control mosquito breeding places, make sure that we get rid of the water that's around the house, we can do a lot to make sure that we don't have the kind of diseases that come out of mosquitoes.
The ministry is spraying and cleaning cyclone-affected areas in the islands as well as urban centers. This is a collective effort to ensure that Fiji does not fall victim to any major disease outbreak. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The first group of Bachelor of Nurses that graduated last December were today put through an induction process before being deployed to various health centres as interns. 232 nursing interns were chosen as part of the program, 2 of which are regional students.
New nurses are aware of the systems, the policies, looking at the various principles of nursing services, nursing care, and not forgetting the nursing legislation. We give them very specific information that's more attuned to the deliverables of the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, beginning from its vision, mission, the values, so that they are aware from the word go. So when they go out there, they are not lost, where they are supposed to target in terms of the nursing services that they will render to the community.
The nursing induction will go on for another 2 days. And on that note, sports is up next. Here's Jamie now with all the very latest on a brand new week.
Minaka Jackie, and good evening in sports tonight. Vodafone Fiji's 7th team finishes 4th at Vancouver tournament. And free-to-air Super Rugby on Fbctv, now a sealed deal. Details coming up.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks. My name is Denasa, and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Hulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Great news for rugby fans. For the first time on Fbctv, 2 Super Rugby matches will be shown every weekend, beginning this week, totaling 33 matches until the completion of the tournament. Rohit Deo has the details.
Rugby time is here.
A done deal. Together with 33 Super Rugby matches, Fbctv will show 12 live test matches, while there will be live telecast of 15 matches from New Zealand Provincial Cup. FBC Chief Executive Ria Syed Keun says the announcement has come at the right time, with Fijians still reeling from the devastation by Tropical Cyclone Winston.
Virtually the whole country has been cyclone ravaged. We know that nothing brings the people of Fiji together and puts happiness in their homes like rugby does. So whether it's the Sevens Code, which FBCTV plays, or Super Rugby and Test matches.
Digicel CEO Darren McLean pleased to come on board with FBC to get free-to-air rugby to Fijians.
It's great that this could be concluded in a relatively short space of time to enable people of Fiji to see the vast majority of the tournament, which is still to run.
The first match that will be live will be this Friday, and it falls perfectly for us in the sense that we will have live rugby, live Super Rugby match, and after that we have our new sports show, which is the Vodafone Sports Lounge, and it just makes it a nice, healthy sports package for Friday night.
So expect some entertaining 15-a-side rugby on Fbctv this year. Viewers will get to watch 2 Super Rugby matches live from this Friday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji 7th side failed to carry its winning momentum from last week, losing 19-12 to Australia to finish in 4th spot at the Vancouver Sevens. However, the side can come away with some consolation as it maintains the lead on the World Series points table. Charlene Daudakadaka reports.
The Fiji Sevens side were hard on attack in the opening half of the third-place playoff against Australia, with a try each to Masivesin Dakuwanga and Emosi Muleworo.
Dakuwanga, and there's a pass out wide, and it's the man who's all over the park at all times.
Australia hit back with 3 consecutive tries and defended with their lives to deny Fiji.
Van der Vault, and well,
New Zealand went on to win the final, defeating South Africa 19-12.
New Zealand are cup champions in Canada.
But the World Series standings remain in Fiji's favour with 4 tournaments to go, with only a point separating the top 3 teams. Here at home, fans were generally happy with the team's performance in Vancouver.
They played well, and my favorite player is Dakuwanga.
I think the team's performance was awesome, and they need to have more conversation on the field.
Only their decision making was not in the right time, and I think all the players was my best players on that Vancouver Sevens.
The national team returns back on Wednesday. Talento Takataka, FBC Sports.
The national side earlier lost to South Africa 31-19 in the Cup semi-final. It was a closely fought game, but the South Africans had too much firepower in the dying stages of the match.
Talinga out wide to too wide and further out to Dakuwanga. He's gone to the try scorer Dakuwanga, running hard at the gap. He gets a pass away, and it is Titioni Talinga who plays his part in the scoring yet again. Bello Sinatra, and this is a lovely run by Ruanel, and tries to catch him. Here's the halfway, and away goes Cecil, Africa. Oh, he tumbles like a gymnast.
Meanwhile, in the Cup quarterfinals, Fiji had to come from a 19-5 halftime deficit to beat USA 31-26 in extra time. Here are the highlights.
Madison Hughes is through, but caught by Osea Colinisao, and Martin Josefo has rocked the Sevens rugby world with an early score for USA. Stand go, Fiji go. Beautiful try for Ben Pinkelman.
This game at the breakdown, another turnover step for him.
Pio Tuai now, and space out wide for Savanatha Rawatha. Barrett, Niua to Bender, and a fender bender.
That when under pressure in a quarter-final, this was an Olympic Games, are you good enough to get into the next 4 for a medal? At the moment, the answer's no, and the pressure's right on you now. I'm going to keep the pressure on you. I want to see how you react.
Irian, here they go. Can they take full toll?
Oh, bump and run, and Talinga's done it again. The Nathangi again. Oh, fast hands. They've got away from Baker. Colinisao, open country. He's got to keep away from that line there and scores it to the next stage. Here goes Sebaloni Modadafangi. Out to Talinga, and just like that, it's Savanatha Rawatha.
Now, the next leg of the series is the Hong Kong tournament, which will be played from the 9th to the 11th of next month. The Telecom Fiji Warriors are slowly adapting to trial laws which are being tested in the World Rugby Pacific Challenge. An area of concern for the side was the trial scrum laws, but the team is confident it will adapt better before taking on Tonga A this week.
Scrum is a bit difficult for us since it's very new, and for the managing to keep up with the new law.
The Fiji Warriors will face Tonga A at 6 p.m. on Thursday at NZ Stadium. Prior to this match, Samoa A will take on Junior Japan at 3:30. The final will be held next Monday. That is your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Westpac Bank has plans to put in place a digital electronic strategy to safeguard its customers from hackers and other fraudulent activity. President International Westpac Banking Corporation Bala Swaminathan says this will put Fiji on par with the rest of the world.
Having a digital electronic system in place will boost business-generating activity and, as a result, provide more employment to Fiji.
We're really looking at the business traffic between Asia and Fiji expanding quite a lot, and that will mean that we are, as Westpac, we are both in Fiji and in Asia. So our ability to support our corporate and business banking customers, giving them more products, helping them with working capital management, inventory management, is going to be quite significant for us.
With more than 200,000 customers in Fiji, Westpac Fiji General Manager Brad Hooker says customers can expect significant changes.
Without getting too much into the technology side, the new card will have a chip system which will hold all the customers' information as opposed to a magnetic strip system that has traditionally been used in the Pacific markets.
Swaminathan says that they are also looking at the country's resources and how Fiji could operate as the hub for all their international business. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Isolated afternoon showers was experienced over most places around the country today. All centres recorded over 30 degrees today, with Lambasa the hottest on 34. Ba finished the day on 32, while Suvanandi and Lautoka were on 31. Savu was the coolest on 30 degrees. Some showers about Kandavu, southern Lao Group, the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. That's the forecast for tomorrow. And the outlook for Wednesday is for some showers about the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And recapping the main stories for tonight. Fiji Roads Authority has exhausted its budget post-Cyclone Winston. Australian government to continue helping Fiji in rehabilitation works, and Fbctv secures exclusive free-to-air deal for Super Rugby. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our results from our poll question from last week, and we had asked, will Fiji bounce back from tropical cyclone Winston? And a massive 97% said yes. On to this week's question, and we are asking, are you happy with the current Fiji Sevens reps? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. We'll see you tomorrow.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान कोरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल एग्रेट है कोरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है कोरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट